Hey, loves. So, word around town is that I'm hearing that you all are having an issue with Keyshia Kayior and Gucci Man's interview, and you all are having an issue with Keyshia Kayior and the role that she plays in helping her husband manage and heal from his schizophrenia diagnosis and his mental health issues. Honey, I can tell by all the comments that many of you all are not married, don't know what a marriage looks like, and never been in one, and you are clearly clueless to what marriage life truly is. Grab your wine glass or grab your wine glass, cocktail, or even a tea, because I understand it's still morning. But let's have a conversation and talk about the game of a wife and talk about the role of a wife and how I identify with her in that this is real life. And if you all are not capable and ready to handle this, don't step into the fire. Let me tell you all something. As you all know, I have been married for 19 years with my husband. And I can tell you all the first 16, 17 years of our marriage. I married my husband. We built a beautiful life. We have had homes together. We have had 7 beautiful children together. My husband has helped me with building a business. We've been on trips together, dancing, date nights, all of those cutesy and everything. And my husband spoils and loves me. And he's given me any and everything that I've ever wanted in the 19 years that we've been together. But in the last couple years, things have started to change. And the change comes from him being diagnosed, well, last year, when he was diagnosed, not only with cancer, but also dementia and PTSD, along with depression. I have dealt with mental health issues all my life. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was 8 years old, and I also developed PTSD and also anxiety from childhood issues, and also things that I've experienced. And we brought some of the traumas here online, and I've told you all my story. And I've always been, whether parents had mental health issues and all of those things, I've always been around and also to a default had to involve myself in making sure certain family members were safe. And so, with that being said, when I married my husband, I thought that, of course, I didn't think of with him all of those things happening. Of you don't think about the sickness and health. You really don't. And so you only think about the good things, right? You only think about the fairy tale of it all. But I remember I had not only my grandmother, but I also had my husband's aunt who sat down with me right before we got married and really gave me the tea on what my role was as a wife. She said, not only are you supposed to be, bring him joy, both of y'all bring each other joy and enjoy each other, but you also got to be there. You got to have a discernment. You got to take your covenant with God and him seriously. You got to be his, you got to be his listening ear. You got to be his peace. You also got to be so in tune with your husband. So when things are not right, you step in and do what you got to do as a wife. I know Alzheimer's and dementia does run in my husband's family, and but usually they get it. The elders in his family who has all had it, they all got it in their 80s, in their mid 80s into early 90s, and so we thought that we had time, a lot of time, but I. As much as it breaks my heart, I think that this is also a mission that God put me on, in giving us the diagnosis and us going through this journey of me honoring my covenant. My husband was diagnosed with dementia early, well, it was in the summertime of last year, and I tried to keep it a secret, and even to a point where I try to keep it a secret from everybody, and keep it together with keep it between me and him. But as time went on, and life began to life, and I needed extra help from family and everything, I had to be honest with my kids. I also had to be honest with family, and and let them know what we were dealing with. I became my husband's power of attorney, and also his power of attorney, and also his caregiver. When my husband was diagnosed, I under the doctors gave me, like I said, dealing with this cancer. I had to deal with that and make sure keeping him healthy. We put him on a plant-based diet. He's been off of it for months. He's been off of it since January, but I'm slowly but surely getting him back on it. But other dietary issues, we have made changes, and I'm grateful for it. But with the dementia and PTSD, because like I said, not only is my husband has dementia, but PTSD, dealing with the fact that he is a veteran, and he went through war, and he's been seen and been through some things. Life began to life. Sometimes he'll have memories of him being in war, and he want to fight, and he's combative. Sometimes he doesn't remember things. Sometimes he may call our children his mother or his sister's name that are now deceased. Or sometimes he may revert back to being a child. And there are times where he's aggressive and he's angry, and he will cuss you out from one storm, one end of the moon to the other. And at times when he's aggressive and he's cussing out his doctors and everything, and I have to step in and put my wife hat to the side and be that power of attorney and be a caregiver, and also sometimes act like his mama and have to put my foot down with him. And I'm telling you all this because I agree with 100% with what Keyshia kayior is going through and what we're doing, and how she addresses things and how she identifies and helps him deal with it. I'm going to tell you all, this was a challenge that I did not expect in our life, because even though, yes, dementia is hereditary in the family, but everybody doesn't all get it. You know what I'm saying? When you have a diagnosis with something that is hereditary and genetic, everybody doesn't always get it. It can skip one person, to skip, in all of that. But here we are. I can tell you, it's many a days, and where I know my marriage has changed completely. It's many a days that I cry because I miss what we had. It's many a days where I get frustrated, and then I have to remind myself, when he gets in his moods and he's angry, and I have to remember, this is not the husband that you're talking to. Your husband is sick. This is when he's sick. You need to tap into something else. You need to not engage, or you need to engage in a different way and step outside of the wife box and step into the caretaker's box, or step into the authoritarian box. And we go through. We go through. I'm going to tell you, if you want to be a wife, if this is what you want to do, I recommend it. I love love. But I want you to understand that it's more than just vacations. It's more than just the ring. It's more than just the white dress. It's more than just your honeymoon phase. It's more than just the wedding. It's more than just the hot, steamy sex. It's more than just the making cutesy babies and all of that. It's more to it than just that. Okay? When sickness and health comes about, are you able to handle that? Are you able to live according to the covenant that you made and honor your marriage and in your vows? I'm telling you all, because before my husband, I was with someone else, and I dealt with abuse all my life. And I said a long time ago to my husband, I wasn't going to put up with certain shit. And then we always had a healthy, stable, safe marriage. My husband is my peace. My husband is my safety net. Well, my husband is my peace. He's my safety net. He is my safe space. And in his time of going through this, I have to become his safe space. Even when I'm angry, even when I'm going through, even when I'm like, I've been through this with other family members before. I've been through something with my ex-husband before. This is not what I want to go through with this man now. I have to understand this is my vows. This is the covenant that I made with God. Being a wife is more than just to get your nails done, get your hair done, getting your back blown out, and all those cute things. It's more to it than just that. Are you there? How are you going to respond when your husband is going through a meltdown? How do you combat the mental health crisis or meltdown? Sometimes you may even have to call in reinforcements. I've had to call in reinforcements. I've had to call on friends. I've had to call on family. And I cry often. Because I miss what I had. And longing for it to come back. I'm telling you all, marriage is a sacred spiritual ritual and covenant and union. If you got a problem with doing this, and if you think that, and if you are not married, and you saying that, oh, she's stepping her bounds, oh, she's controlling him and all of that stuff, honey, that woman is there and has always had his back from when he went to prison, when he's going through his bouts. She's the only one that can be his safe space and make sure that he is good and they have a good life for their babies. I know my position as a wife. I know that I had to step outside of not only being a housemaker, but also being a grinder, and now in turn where I have to be a provider. And not only a provider, well, the health space. And so, and here's another thing. Y'all keep on talking about this 50-50 thing. Let me tell you, it's no such thing as 50-50. Listen, it's either 100-100 or 60-100. Everybody's not going to have it all at the same time. There's no such thing as